Hello programmers, this is Jasmine, TDD JavaScript, and we're doing color strings part 2. In the last part, I branched and wrote a little hex function, or rather hex to num, hexadecimal function, and before that I just used parseInt to generate a proper number. In this test, we have a function called hex, which is going to convert black RGB code, white hex code, and trivial RGB codes. So, I'm just noticing that our test there we go. A little typo in the string. White RGB hex codes. So these are the tests we're running, and if we pass in hex with an array of 3 numbers, we're going to get back a hexadecimal string, color string. And so our first test, I'm going to get that out of the way. Our first test is, there we go. Hex is not defined in the file, so var hex equals function, and it takes an array, RGB array. Okay, so we have our stub set up, and instead of an empty string, we expect to get a string in the format of 000000. Our first test is passed. That's right, red, green, refactor. We got the green going, and now it's time to refactor this for the next test. Converting the white RGB code. Oh, well, pass in 255, 255, 255, we expect to get something different. So we're going to call this color code, var color code, and then given an RGB array, 3 numbers, well, we can just say, well, it starts with pound and RGB array is going to have 3 elements in it, and let's just iterate through each of them. And I less than length, I plus plus. Then we're going to do RGB array at I. So we're going to get 3 numbers in order out of the RGB, red, green, blue, and we want them to be the first 2 digits, the second 2 digits, and the third 2 digits. So let's see. The first thing that we can do is just color code append and toString 16. We can pass in a base to toString, and it's going to convert that number into a string. If we want to make sure it's a number, we can pass it into the number constructor, and we'll get a number back. Expected 000 to equal 0000. Expected FFF to equal FFFF. So I'm seeing some things. One is this color code is to uppercase. And now we have our white test passing, converts the white hex code, and ignores case is passing. But our black isn't working, and our trivial isn't working. Take note that we're not padding to a specific number of characters. So we actually need to pad. And how's that? How do we need to pad? Well, we need toString has to be a minimum of 2 characters. Actually, we can just put that in here, initializing it, and then if hex.length is equal to 1, then hex equals there we go. So we have a little pad function there, and then take color code, and we append hex. Boom. That's it. That's the last part of hex. And now we have all these tests passing. What we don't have is checks for bounding on the arrays. If you went past 255, 255, 255, we would start to get a little bit different color code. But our tests don't require that, and as long as we use this function the right way, as specified in our test, we're going to be fine. So we don't need to worry about those edge cases. And here we go. That's all we have for now. Next, we're going to be going into a new spec called temperature spec, and we're going to do Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion.